Welcome to the Night Trader Club. We find opportunities in the market and make some money. Before we get into another community request, hit the like and subscribe button below. Don't forget, if you're a subscriber, then send in a stock or ticker by request. Good luck and enjoy the video. Let's check in on Palantir Technologies, ticker PLTR. It is February 13th and I currently own shares, call options, and leaps in Palantir, so I want to check in on the charts and see what's going on. If you don't know who Palantir is, I suggest you Google it, but Palantir is an IT and cyber warfare company that provides services to the United States Department of Defense and some of the United States allies. Back to the charts. So what I see from Palantir in the last month is that they reached an all-time high of $45, which is nice, but they've also been consolidating ever since, and it actually looks like they're trading within a triangle right now. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that triangle out. We'll use, and I think this triangle is bullish, so we're going to stick with green. So I'm going to go with the previous high of $45, mark it there, and then I'll go to the second highest point, which was on February 9th. I'll mark it there. And then for the bottom of the triangle, we'll go to the lowest point, which is where this last runoff started on the 22nd, or as disregard on the 21st. And then we'll go to the second lowest point, which just so happens to be where we traded, ended up trading just this past week. All right, so I see Palantir trading in this wedge. And basically what this wedge says is Palantir is coming to a decision point. It needs to break one way or the other. Also, it can continue trading sideways, but this is a good indicator that it's going to break one way or the other. It's going to break out and up, or it's going to break down. And I have a feeling it's going to be breaking up. And the reason why I think that is I'm going to reset the chart really quickly, but if we look at the relative strength index right here, the RSI, the RSI is showing that Palantir is actually oversold. It's down here at the 30.73 level. If the RSI gets, the closer it gets to 20 and below 20, the more likely the share price has to come back up because the RSI has to regress to the means and go back to the center. So when it's down here by the 20s, it has to go back up to the 50s. The same is true for above. So when Palantir, on the beginning of the week, when Palantir reached its high of 37.84, the RSI also got pretty high, also had to come back down, regress, and correct itself. So that's where we're seeing here. Something of note, if you're invested in Palantir or thinking about investing in Palantir, Tuesday morning, market open, Palantir is releasing their Q4 2020 earnings. I have a feeling I'm bullish on Palantir. I have a feeling Palantir is going to be beating earnings, beating market expectations, which is another reason why I'm justifying this break to the upside. But you should also be cautioned by the 18th. The 18th is Palantir's employee share lockup day. What this is all for Palantir's been in existence for 17 years, but they've been private the entire 17 years. So these employees have shares that they haven't been able to liquidate. And now that Palantir just went public in 2020, this lockup period is ending on the 18th. So the fudsters out there are saying Palantir is going to be falling and falling hard because of what their employee share lockup. As soon as the employees have the right to sell, they're going to sell off their shares in the company. However, I don't think it's going to be going that way. I think we're going to be beating market expectations for earnings on the 16th, and then I don't think employees are going to be bailing on Palantir. They're a defense stock. They're an IT defense stock, and they're the only IT defense stock for the United States Department of Defense. All right, so let's look at their 3-month chart, and we'll actually go ahead and get rid of these lines because they're looking ugly. But we'll go ahead and look at this 3-month chart, and we can see Palantir did have that run up in the beginning of, disregard, in the middle part of January, and it's been consolidating ever since. But that, like the previous screen showed, it's going to be breaking out soon. But what it has been doing for the past few months is consolidating. So if we'll go to the 6-month chart, we'll look at Palantir. Palantir has been consolidating since it's been in existence. So Palantir came to the market at $10 a share at the end of October. Somewhere around here, beginning of November, Palantir came to market, direct listed, I've been in it ever since. It had that massive run up, tripled. People thought this was just a Reddit sensation. Citron Research, right up here around the top, I think it reached around, actually, it reached around like $33 sometime at the end of October, at the end of November. But then Citron Research came out and said, "Hey, this is a Reddit friends. This is gonna die. This is gonna end badly for everyone. We expect the share to be halved. Where they expected it to go down to the $15 mark, to lose over 50% of the value, which Palantir did not do. It did have a sell-off, which is justified. If you look at the RSI, I'll go ahead and scroll this chart over so we can be a little bit clearer. But if you look at the RSI, like I was telling you, in late November, early December, the RSI was over 80. What does that mean? It means it has to come back down. It has to correct itself, and that's what it did. So instead of plunging all the way, down to the 20s, it actually came back down to equilibrium. It came back down to around the 50s, high 50s, 60s. And you can see the share price came down with it, and it justified itself. The market supported and was happy with that price for the next few months and kept it there. And around the end of December, Palantir did their first quarterly earnings ever. They reported Q3 2020, and it was also a surprise. Everyone was surprised at how much revenue this company brings in. They're a tech company who haven't heard of them. However, some pretty big institutions have been buying up Palantir ever since they showed that they were a profitable company. So you have like the Soros Foundation is a big holder in Palantir, but most notably is Cathie Wood at ARK. They have been scooping up Palantir for quite some time. And then Palantir is also one of the favorites for the Wall Street bet group, for that Reddit crew. It's not at the top. It's not screaming like AMC, GME, but Palantir is definitely at the top of the talk list. Something to watch. But besides the craze from Reddit, Palantir is the only IT and cyber warfare company for the Department of Defense, and that's why I'm so bullish on Palantir. As far as who is their competition, nobody. Are they profitable? Yes. Do they have great leadership at the company? Check into Alex Karp. Yes, they do. Is there more upside? Has Palantir created an opportunity for them to grow in the next year, 2, 3, 10 years? Yes. So overall, I would say I'm looking forward to Palantir's earnings on Tuesday the 16th. So before market open, I'm looking forward to their earnings, and I'm looking forward to them staying within that trading range. And I'm not going to increase my position at all. I'm not going to be selling off my position at all. But I would be a little worried about some of my shorter dated call options if I see that Palantir actually dipped below the support line. So if Palantir has a poor earnings report on the 16th and there's an employee share lockup that goes not so well, I'll be a little worried. However, I'm pretty bullish on Palantir. I think we're going to be on the upside of this resistance line and charting some new territory. So if Palantir does break out of this resistance line in the next few days or weeks, let's see where it's going to go from there. I'm going to draw just some basic support and resistance lines for Palantir, and we'll go ahead and draw them in orange. All right, so what has been pretty meaningful for Palantir? So Palantir, this 38 range. Okay, we'll go ahead and zoom in on Palantir, what it's been in that 38 range. So this 38 range has come up a time or two for Palantir. All right, it's been, in the beginning, this was somewhat of resistance. It became resistance. It broke through. Palantir broke through on the 27th of January, and then it came back down. And because it broke through that became support. However, that support didn't last for too long because it broke down through that support line. However, it did gain some steam and go back to retest this level. So you can see this level was brought up another time and another time more recently. So If I see Palantir breaking to the upside, I'm going to be watching, does Palantir break 38.12? So if you're saying, hey, maybe I want to get into Palantir in the next few days, next few weeks, I would say, all right, what you want to be looking for, if I was going to be increasing my Palantir position, I would increase my position if Palantir broke this 38 range. If it broke 38, that would be great. The next area of resistance I would just say is you would have to look into level 2 data and see what the bid and ask is looking at, but I guess 39.67, I guess 39.40 would be another line of resistance. Possibly. So if you're a little bit more cautious of an investor, saying, actually, you know what, I do want to see if Palantir breaks 38, and I do want to see if it breaks through 40. If it does break through 40, great. And certainly our next stop on the way of resistance will be the previous all-time high of $45. So it was, I'm trying to see if I can get the cursor perfectly on there, and I won't waste your time. So if Palantir does break through this all-time high, I would say caution yourself. Don't chase that high. Once it breaks this all-time high, we're going to be expecting it to regulate a little bit more and let that picture build out. So if you want to increase your position or start a new position in Palantir, I would wait in the next few days to see if it breaks through our trend line and see if it breaks through the resistance at about $38. You can also say there's resistance at $40. And then if it breaks 40, if you're uber cautious and it breaks 40, this is when I would be entering the trade sometime around here. However, I would also be checking the RSI. Just because it goes above 38 or 40 doesn't mean I would increase my position. I would also look at this relative strength index down here. So let's say this happens in one day. If Palantir pops up and it's in the 40s and our RSI also comes up to the 70s, 80s, I probably would not be increasing my position, because that RSI has to regress back down to the means to the 50s. So there's a few things you want to look out there. If this was informative for you, great. This helped you, great. This confused you, great. But if you have any questions or comments, just go ahead and leave them in the comment section. Thank you. Good luck. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked what you saw, then hit the like and subscribe buttons. If you have questions or requests, then reach out to me on the comment section or find me on Twitter at NightTrader9. I'll see you in the next video.